Hello, I was on mute there. How's everyone going? Hey Boona, hey Dread, how are things today? FPL Friday is coming thick and fast. We are into a new game week, going into 35 plus. So as usual, we will have a recap of 34 plus, talk about the pros and the cons of the games, and then we'll talk about 35 plus. Hope everyone's having a good Friday. I've got a few left and I'm free. This is straight. Hey man, how you doing? Welcome Kai, nice to see you. Mer. Oh, thanks for coming in, Mer. I'm doing a FM after this, as always. Football Manager on live on Twitch after this. Over 90 games unbeaten with Feyenoord in season 6 now. So it's a pretty impressive. So glad to see you all in the chat. I think I'm a little bit earlier than normal. I should probably know this due to the fact that I'm the one who hits the live button, but what can I say? How's everyone's game week going? So a couple of game weeks ago, everyone in the chat was telling me how they've got 100 plus, and then last week it felt like I did a little bit better than the chat. This game week, I'm curious to see how you guys are doing. Is everyone having a good game week? I thought I was going to have a terrible game week, but we have got 11 back-to-back green arrows. It has been it's been joyous, guys. We've gone from 1.9 million to 340k in about 11 game weeks, so I'm really chuffed with that. Everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. Hey, thanks. Welcome, Brew. Okay, 82 minus 8. Boona, you love your hits. You love them. And thanks Elite Boys for dropping in. I really appreciate it as well. Yeah, thanks Boona. Everything that could have gone wrong earlier this season did. If there was something that could have messed up, that was the case. Hey Gavin, how you doing? 81 points as well, up to 18k, 19 points of top K. Oh, it's doable. It is doable. So we'll talk about some captaincy options as well. Of course, it's just your general chill stream package going on today. So having a look at game week 81. So it feels like, hey Jolly, how you doing, buddy? -4 for 35. Just a lot of hits, Boona, I see on Twitter all the time now. You've done something that in my last video on the channel, and something I mentioned on Twitter, the last choice that I left on my video was, am I going to take a -4 and do Raul Jimenez to Jamie Vardy? I am not going to do that. I'm going to resist. And that's not to do with Jamie Vardy. That's not to do with, I think Bournemouth has suddenly got an incredible defence that they're going to keep Leicester out. It's the -4. So if I bring Bruno Fernandes for me now, this game week, even though it's against Southampton, Bruno Fernandes for me is the number one captaincy option. When I look at my team, even if I had Jamie Vardy in it, I would be putting the captaincy on Fernandes. I don't actually like putting my captaincy on strikers. It feels, I know it's like penny pinching, right, for those points, but a clean sheet is 1 point, double to 2 for your captain. A goal is worth more. Everything's just worth more for a midfielder. That's why captaincy sometimes should be put on a defender, to be honest, because you get a clean sheet, like I did with Doherty a few weeks ago. Doherty got a clean sheet, 6 goes to 12. So double digit, right? So it's not the worst. Jimmy's first on your bench. And I just feel as though, I know Wolves are not looking good, but here's the thing. If Jamie Vardy scores a goal, and I keep Raul Jimenez, and he doesn't, he blanks, he gets another 2. If I take away the -4, the risk isn't worth the reward. Now, if Jamie Vardy goes out there and bangs a hat-trick, fair play, I'll hold my hand up. It was a great performance. But Leicester aren't blowing my mind when I watch them. Wolves are looking a little bit weak at the moment, but my future plan is after this game week, I'm just going to Jimenez to Danny Ings. That's going to be my plan. Kane made the Vardy move easy. So for you, it's a little bit different. You're going off Harry Kane. I would never have gone on Harry Kane, but I know you're a Spurs fan, so there is that kind of the the link there. I'm lucky in a way that my football club Bolton are nowhere near the Premier League. So there we go. Jimenez to Ings instead of Vardy. Man, so I'm not doing it this week because we're against Manchester United. And Manchester United, as you can tell from the stream title, just feel unstoppable right now. So I'm not going to go to Ings yet. But I do also say that he's fixture proof. It's difficult. I just feel as though I'd rather have Jimenez against Everton, who defensively are strong, but with Holgate possibly out again. Maybe they can break through. I'm just thinking that Jimenez is never going to score again. So this would be his 4th game without a goal if he blanks again. And I'm just not risking the -4. I'm lucky I'm still a club. Well, Bolton's still a club. And in fact, we've got Ian Evatt. And by the way, guys, Tifo on YouTube is a great footballing channel. I'm not sponsored by them or connected to them at all. But if you guys love football, like Tifo, they are a fantastic football channel that do from Premier League all the way down to non-league. And they looked into Ian Evatt's Barcelona, because he turned Barrow into like a mini Barcelona. He's Bolton's new manager. You know, the ex-Blackpool centre-back, Ian Evatt. It's a really good podcast interview with him, about 55 minutes long. Definitely recommend watching that, guys. It also explains lots of football tactics and stuff. So if you're into your football, then that's a great channel to have a look at. You've done exactly that. Him to Vardy. So, yeah, this is it, Dread. I've weighed it up, and I would have possibly had Jamie Vardy for 2 weeks. And it would have been against Bournemouth, who, before the Spurs game, were just an absolute sieve at the back, right? Leaking goals left, right, and centre. And then the week after that, they got Sheffield United. And Jamie Vardy's a Sheffield Wednesday fan. So he hates Sheffield United, hates Jamie Vardy. Jamie Vardy hates Sheffield United, right? So I would have had him for 2 weeks. So I would have said that's sort of -2 and -2 rather than just like a -4, right? But I also just think that I'll just stick with Jimenez one more week, and then I'll be more annoyed if I get off Jimenez and he equals Jamie Vardy than if Jamie Vardy bangs and Jimenez blanks. I'll be more annoyed by that. And Ings is a better option. I'm just going to wait one more week. I'm not going to take a hit for it for the sake of it. You've got Pookie rotting on the bench. Oh, 100% Jolly Ings. 100%. I mean, what's the price difference? If you can afford Ings and it's not a hit. If he's on your bench for a week, then don't take the hit, right? Because you're benching, you just wasting points on a bench. But Ings, 100%. And Aman, exactly right. So when I'm looking at my defence and I'm thinking, maybe not, I'm fine with my defence, but say I've got other things that I want to do. Ings can stay for the rest of the season if I just wait one more week, rather than committing myself to another forward transfer. What happens if Foden gets injured or dropped, or someone, you know, and that's a definite -4. So if I lock myself into Vardy for a -4 now, I'm locking myself into a definite transfer out in 1 or 2 game weeks. So it feels like I'm putting myself in a hole rather than helping myself out. Great shout. Oh, cheers, going on the Tifo videos. They are fantastic, guys. They look into tactics, they look into teams, look into stories. So they do the podcast on Wigan Athletic. The story at Wigan Athletic right now is mental. One of the craziest stories that's happening right now at Wigan, where in a nutshell, they think that the guy that bought them, on the day he bought them, he put them into administration. So he sunk tens of millions into buying Wigan, who don't have any debt, put them into administration, and it's linked to the idea that they got a -12, and they think that there's a bunch of illegal gambling going on in the Philippines for Wigan to go down. So they bet on Wigan to go down, and then into administration. It's crazy. All of this is on TiVo. They're connected to The Athletic, which is like the website-based journalist for sports, and they are, in my opinion, the best sports journalists out there. Got some big names at The Athletic now. Hey Bilal, nice to meet you. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. First time. Friday afternoons, unless there's like no deadline tomorrow. It's good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Would you recommend Mane and Nketiah out for Vardy, Pulisic or Antonio for a -4? I wouldn't recommend Mane out because we know it's all guesswork. So we all try our best to consider who is who's going to get rotated. Now, I did think Salah was going to get rested. I don't think he is, because apparently they're really pushing for him to get the golden boot. But I don't think Mane is going to be rested again. So I personally wouldn't be taking Mane out. But I would, if you haven't already, would have done Nketiah to Greenwood. So you're sacrificing Mane for Vardy, and I don't think that's a good deal. Hey, Notorious. Mane going to bang this game week and catch up with Salah. It's a bold claim. I think he's going to do well. I mean, it's a good enough tie. We'll have a quick review of the scores and the players to keep an eye on, and then we'll have a look at this current game week. Thinking whether to do Kane to Vardy, then Ings next week, or go straight to Ings and bench him this week. You agreed. So the thing with that is, Matt, who are you going to play then? Double pool defense, I'd get rid of. Nah, I'm not going to do it, because they've actually, in a few game weeks I've had, if you go back a game week before, they got me both 11 points. The game week before that, nothing, but that was Manchester City. And then you can see 9 and 14. So, and that is a transfer out for -4, getting rid of Trent or Robbo. I'm just not going to do it. Although Egan, oh god, if he gets 3 goals, I had him for the double game week. I had Egan for the double game week when he got that red card. So he's just annoying everyone in Twitter right now. Hey, Linguistic Llama, how you doing, buddy? Will I put Vardy over Jimenez? It's your doubt too. So my decision is, if it's not a -4, I would make the transfer. If it is a -4, I'm not. That's exactly what I'm personally doing right now. Got Vardy and Jimenez. And then Jimenez to Ings. So I'm doing that next week, Jimenez to Ings. I'm just going to skip out on the Vardy and just pray. Playing Jimenez, Greenwood, KDB, Mahrez, Foden, Fernandes. Yeah, that's a solid front line. Jimenez is fine. Come on. I mean, what is he on? 15 goals and 6. Okay, he's had 3 blanks, but... And I've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin on my bench, so if he doesn't play, DCL will come in. So, Chelsea Palace, and I know everyone's still going crazy about Pulisic. I'm just not. And I know it's stupid. It's just, is it a blind spot? I don't know. I think he could get rotated out. Yes, he's getting assists by getting penalties. I'm just not feeling it. Just not feeling it at all for Pulisic. And I don't think Chelsea's got particularly easy games for the rest of the season. Foden will probably be benched though, so I could play Ings over Foden. Could do that. But I still think Foden will come on for 30 minutes, and I think a Foden against Brighton for 30 minutes is still fine. Yes, Kai, I played my bench boost and I got 90, I think it was. Looking to get rid of DCL? No, Bilal. He's just going to sit on my bench as my first sub. Have I considered Antonio? So I have a beautiful love for Antonio, because I brought him in ages ago at the early parts of the season. And yeah, he banged for me. Was it this season or last season? I have a special relationship. And I would have got him in earlier. I would have, but I'm just so happy with, well, what is now 2 United and 3 City that I just can't fit him in. Dean looks a good differential. I agree, but if we... For me, attacking wise, they're awful. But the last 3 defensively, yeah. If I have a spare transfer, I would possibly do Robertson or Doherty over to Luka Dean. Hey Mitch, how you doing? How you doing, Psychic, buddy? Having a good day? Jimenez hasn't blacked for more than 3 games the whole season. In the last 2 seasons, he hasn't. But the problem with that, Matt, is that that's a junk stat. Like, that doesn't mean anything. It's one of them that, like, they'll say on Sky Sports, right? Or like a curse of the commentator. Like, oh, he never goes 3 games without a goal. Doesn't mean that he can't, right? Because he's not even looking like he's getting a goal. Like, the thing with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, for weeks we've been like, oh my God, how has he not scored yet? He's hitting the post, he's having all these opportunities. Jimenez isn't even having that. Any good defenders under 4.3 except for Lamptey? when they're fit, Holgate and Lascelles, but I'd just be looking for bench fodder for that price. Yeah, doing good, buddy. I'll be going over. I posted on the Discord all the notes I made from Football Manager tactic videos that I've been watching and reading about all day. So I'm going to sort out that final team. Watford, Norwich, not even going to talk about them. Norwich, they're so down, it's untrue. Arsenal, Leicester. Nketiah red card, yes. Arguably Vardy should have got a red card, but that's a whole other story. Birmingham Vardy, rank killers for a lot of us there. City Newcastle, that's just... Foden was the third most underachieving player from this game week. The third most. He had 2 golden opportunities. Kevin De Bruyne could have got 30 points worth of assists. And they still won 5-0, right? Absolutely crazy. Sheffield United, this one destroyed me. This one did hurt big time. I was so close to a Wolves clean sheet. And what was it, the 93rd minute? It was so late. There was like 20 seconds left and they blew it. Wolves Champions League hopes have taken a nosedive right now. Bolton Wanderers, Bilal. The mighty Bolton Wanderers. West Ham 0, Burnley 1. Everybody hates Nick Pope. Except me. What a glorious, beautiful man he is. And Taylor's been doing bits for... So if you're looking for under 4.5... Is Taylor still under 4.5? Yep, Taylor, 4.3. But they've got Liverpool and Wolves next. But the last 2 games, Norwich and Brighton. So if you're just looking for bench fodder, then maybe that's the way to go. Moving on, just to do a quick recap. Liverpool, Mo Salah. I warned people. This time last week, I said, don't take Salah out for a -4. He'll punish you, and that's exactly what actually occurred. So, people thought he might have been rotated out. I understand that the leap over to Sterling, and maybe even if you didn't have Kevin De Bruyne or Mahrez or whatever, but he's looking like he's going to be the top FPL player for the last 3 years. You can't take that decision lightly. Spurs, unsurprising there, just rubbish. Like, I hope it's Adam Smith, right, who got a really bad concussion. I hope he's doing all right. But apart from that, just this is what I never said. And again, I'm saying the same thing that I said the whole time, that Spurs are just overpriced, and they're just why you would want to bring in Son or Kane. I've got no idea, because there's been nothing for me. Yeah, Kane's got a couple of goals since the restart, but just awful. Awful to watch as well. Not really enjoyed watching them. Speaking of not having a lot of joy watching, Everton won, Southampton won, Danny Ings again with an Armstrong assist, who's popping up in a lot of teams recently. But that Luca Dean ball to Richarlison was absolutely beautiful. So if I had the transfers to bring in Luca Dean, I probably would after this week. Villa, Sheffield, Bournemouth are nice games to end the season on, but I wouldn't be taking hits to be in. Salah destroyed a lot of game weeks. Salah or Mane to start versus Burnley. I actually think both. I think that they're trying to push Mo Salah to get the golden boot. I don't think Mane sits out 2 games in a row. Because, I mean, I feel really sorry. I feel really sorry for Mane, right? Because he wants to score goals and play football, right? And everyone's like, oh, Mo, we love it. It's like when it was against Burnley, right? At Burnley, when Mane got brought off and Firmino was brought off and Salah was left on when he was being really greedy in that game. And you just think, it's like, oh, come here, Mo. Oh, come on. And then that Mane just like sent to the stands kind of thing. Like, they can't just keep him on the bench just because Momo wants to get the golden boot. So I think both of them is going to start. And Villa 0, United 3. I mean, Fernandes getting a goal and assist is so lucky here, because that was never a penalty. Never a penalty. He stood on the Villa lad. But in terms of FPL, it doesn't matter. Points are on the board. Greenwood as well, Martial as well. So the 3 United boys doing absolute bits for me. So my transfer was Mo Salah. I had a plan. And the plan started with Alex St. Maximan to Foden, and Maximan got me a beautiful 15-point haul. I kept hold of Mo, didn't take the hit, and he repaid me with an 18. And now we're all hoping that Raheem, who came on for just 29 minutes and got 10 points, we're all hoping that he's going to be playing. I mean, the midfield options are incredible. As an 11, I think this is a really great team. The fact that Foden and Greenwood have come in at such cheap options. He's 4.7 now, so his price is absolutely skyrocketed. He's gone from 4.3 to 4.7 in 3 game weeks. In fact, his ownership now is 24.2%, but you can't blame him. He's like literally half the price of Rashford. And the thing is, Matt, like, they brought VAR in to stop things like this, and it feels like there's been more controversial decisions this year with VAR than there have been without it. And you know when, like, we never looked at those offsides where it's like, oh, his fingernails playing him on, you know, or the hair on his big toes put him offside. Like, none of us, when we used to see those goals, we never used to think, oh, he's miles off, look at that. It's just ridiculous. And then all of the stuff that happens now. Would I do Aspie to Lamperty and Mahrez, or Richarlison to Salah? Aspilicueta to Lamperty. I mean, if you're going to play him, then no, I wouldn't do that. And I wouldn't really... I know you might think Mahrez will not play. Richarlison up to Salah is good. I don't like Aspie to Lamperty. Thoughts on Aubameyang? I'm not a fan. Let's have a look at the Arsenal games. They've got injuries, and they've got... I mean, he's going to play, because obviously now Nketiah. 16-8, a lot of blanks. They've got Spurs away, then Liverpool at home. Maybe 37-38, game week 37-38. 35-36, no, I wouldn't be looking. I would not be going to Aubameyang there. The last few, so Richarlison, yeah, but we're not talking about the future, we're talking about right now. But yeah, I wouldn't be getting rid of Richarlison or Mahrez for Lamperty and Salah. I mean, Richarlison's just scored as well. I know you're not trying to chase points, you want to keep hold of... You've got to be able to let go of players that have just scored points. I'm just getting rid of Mo Salah, he's just got 18 points, but... Richarlison's Everton's main attacking threat. Wolves are looking a little bit tired. They are conceding goals. I would just not be getting rid of Richarlison. And I wouldn't be getting rid of Mahrez. Because you never know with Man City. De Bruyne might be on the bench again. Sterling might be on the bench again. Foden might be getting 90 minutes. You just can... we try our best when it comes to Manchester City. But unfortunately, a lot of it is just sort of guesswork. So I think Fernandes is going to be my captain. Just the fact that people think that Rashford is going to be taking the next penalty. I don't know if that is the genuine system of he takes one, Rashford takes one, he takes... I don't know if that's the thing, but Fernandes is still on set pieces, like free kicks and corners. And, I mean, he's blanked, what, twice in his entire Manchester United career? The first game he played... he got 2 points, and in game week 31 plus he got 3, and he's got 3 double-digit hauls in a row. You could have captained him every week since the restart and just been living life. Would I swap Aubameyang to Vardy or Giroud? Yes. Vardy. Not for a -4. We talked about that earlier. I mean, Spurs and Liverpool, I just don't back Arsenal. I genuinely don't back him. Why'd you take out Salah for Sterling? Because Salah just got 18 points against Brighton, and now Sterling's playing against Brighton. Sterling didn't start against Newcastle. They just battered Newcastle 5-0. Why can't they go and batter Brighton? And I don't know if Salah's going to play the next game. We don't know if they're going to get rotated. Mane's had a rest. Is Mane going to come back and Salah's going to get a rest? Are they both going to play again? But either way, Burnley are renowned for being a decent defensive side. Like, I can't. Well, maybe City did it. Well, yeah, City beat him 4-1. Liverpool beat him 3-0. But on average, they don't get battered, right? Usually, Burnley don't get battered. They had by Man City twice. So since the restart, how have they done defensively? Thumped by City very first game back. That's an anomaly for me. But 1-0 here, 1-0 here, 1-1, 1-0. You're a Brighton fan, but the errors for the first two goals were awful, very sloppy. And, you know, and again, if Liverpool, it's kind of like anything you can do, I can do better kind of thing. Like, if Sterling plays, if you told me right now, Raheem Sterling will start against Brighton, I'd probably put the captaincy on him. I'm just sticking with Bruno Fernandes because he's not going to get dropped. Or I'd be massively surprised. Manchester United is still fighting for Champions League, right? So I'm not going to do that. True Boulder, we know that, I did mention it earlier as well, that they want him to try and get the golden boot. But again, I'm just looking at the fact that if you have a look at Liverpool's future fixtures, Burnley is not an easy game. Arsenal, Chelsea, and then Newcastle away. Whereas if I've got Sterling, Brighton, Bournemouth, Watford, Norwich. So that's why I've gone from Salah to Sterling. Because then next week, I can go Jimenez to Ings, and I'm not taking any hits. I mean, could Salah bang? Yes, but Sterling can as well. So I'm just basically thinking Sterling can equal or better Salah. Jimenez to Vardy for 1 week, then Vardy to Ings. Random Junkie, I already said earlier, if it's not for a -4, yes. If it's for a hit, I'm in the same boat right now. I'm not doing it for a hit. A goal-hungry Man City is worrying. And Man City, 5-0, okay, 2-1, and then 4-0, 1-0, 5-0. Actually, have they one lost? One lost, one lost, one. Oh, great, they're going to lose the next game now. Brighton's going to beat them. That's the pattern. You feel like keeping Salah against Arsenal. Why? Just because Arsenal is so bad defensively. That must be it, right? I mean, I don't disagree with that. They are awful defensively. If you had Hendo and Patricio, who would I start? I wouldn't make any goalkeeper. I wouldn't make any transfers. Personally, I wouldn't be, unless your team is amazing and you don't need to do any transfers. I wouldn't be doing any goalkeeper transfers now. So I'd probably go, I'd say Patricio, because Chelsea are looking pretty good attacking wise. So I'd probably go Patricio. Would I start Pope or McCarthy? I am starting Pope. McCarthy's on my bench against Manchester United. We took Salah out too. Yeah. KDB might be rested again. Possibly. FA Cup's coming up. We just don't know. Sterling or Martial captain is your dilemma. But I already said, if you can tell me Sterling's going to start, I'd give him the captaincy. But also, Bruno's probably going to play 90 minutes. Like, isn't Martial going to play like 70 or 80? So, Martial, since the restart, 77, 79, 77, 79. So you're going to get 78 minutes from Martial against Southampton at home. Sterling, throw a number out there and see what lands. Is he going to get 90 minutes like against Arsenal? Is he going to get 0 minutes like against Burnley? Is he going to get 90, 78, 58, 20? Like, you just don't know. And for me, you want to choose your best captain, of course. You want to choose who you think is going to get the most points. But you also have to weigh in the fact that they're so unreliable. Bruno is like a 90-minute man. Okay, he came off early here against Brighton, but they were already up at that point, and he'd already bagged 15 points. But you're going to get at least sort of 70 minutes for him. That's an interesting thought. Yeah. If Salah plays again, he'll probably play for the rest of the season if he's after that golden boot. Does Doherty still have a hole left in him? I think so. Everton don't bang goals in, so they could keep a clean sheet. Burnley aren't particularly prolific up front. They win games 1-0, right? Palace as well attacking. I know they just scored 2 against Chelsea, but they're not particularly amazing attackingly, in an attacking sense. So, Reina in goal. Oof. Who's Villa got? Palace. Okay, so yeah, you're edging the fact that Palace aren't exactly the best. Martial better at home. And they are at home as well, so... Free hit. Goalkeeper. Maybe Fabianski. Maybe Allison. Maybe... no, I'm going to say Edison. Schmeichel. De Gea. No, not De Gea, because Danny Ings will probably score. Mane or Salah. I'd go for Mane for this game week, just because I don't think he's going to get rested 2 weeks in a row. Well, I mean, he did come on, but you know what I mean, not starting. Should you swap Ings for Greenwood? No, Alistair. We've been talking about Danny Ings quite a lot. A lot of us are looking to bring in Danny Ings after this game week. After he's played Man United, right? Kevin, thoughts on Dean? Yep, we talked about Luca Dean earlier. I think he's a great option, particularly after this game week, because Everton have a nice end of the season. Villa, Sheffield United, Bournemouth. So you're looking not just at clean sheets, but attacking returns. Is Trent... don't know. Again, yes, Robertson didn't start against Brighton and came on. Possibly. Yeah, it is massively possible. And I could be playing this game with 10 men, because if Holgate's not back and Lascelles isn't back, I could be in a spot of bother. In fact, I'm just going to change this around and put Lascelles there, because Lascelles, I think... Okay, didn't play against Man City, so he's had his rest. So if Trent doesn't play, fine. I'm okay with that. So ones to look out for. Let's go in order. So, and Norwich, you could target them. Is it too late to get a West Ham player in now? Probably. Let's have a look at... I think West Ham's got half decent fixtures though in their fight for survival. So let's not forget they are still fighting to stay up. Norwich, Watford, United, Villa. So yes, you could easily still go out there and get in some West Ham players. I know a lot of people said Bowen. I personally really like Antonio. Always have. Reina is a massive differential, but is he going to stay, or is Nyland going to come back? That's something you have to consider. So West Ham, yeah, Antonio out of position, works hard, quite good on the goal involvement front. Norwich wouldn't be touching him with a barge pole. Watford, Newcastle, when I've called nil-nillers, I've actually done really well so far, or low-scoring games, right? Usually I just say Burnley, but I can't say it this week. Watford, Newcastle, though, doesn't scream goals. So if you've got Lascelles, like I have, maybe higher up on your bench. Watford, I never understood the fascination with Sarr, and people bringing in Deeney and people who brought in Foster over Pope. Still don't understand why people did that. Watford have been poor defensively all season. If you kept hold of Saint Maximin, I went from Foden to Saint Maximin to Foden. But if you've still got the Saint, him and Almiron should be back. Liverpool, Burnley, just take your pick, isn't it? I just can't see Liverpool smashing Burnley. Burnley are just such a defensive team. It's like Stoke 2.0, right? Sheffield, Chelsea. Sheffield are hit and miss for me since the restart. Really bad start and then starting to turn the corner. Egan, goal machine. Double Chelsea midfield? No. For me, it's City, United midfield with maybe one Chelsea, maybe Pulisic or Willian, but I'm still not sold, and I still don't think Chelsea have the greatest run of fixtures. Sheffield and Norwich, okay, but the last two, Liverpool and Wolves. So if you're going to bring them in now, it's going to be like a 1 or 2 week thing. Just not for me. I've got other, I think a lot of people have got other stuff that we've got to do. Midfield, KDB, Fernandes, Pulisic, Antonio, Mane, Foden, Fernandes, Pulisic, Salah, Mane. Midfield 1 for me. Sheffield looks solid at the back again. Exactly. I mean, but again, I won't be bringing any in, but I've seen a lot of people benching the likes of Egan and stuff for the last few weeks. Could you do it again? Then I'm asking questions as why you've got like a 4.9 million defender sat on your bench. Brighton City, yeah, 3 Man City players, easy. Mahrez looks like he could be the one dropped this time. I don't think KDB will be on the bench. I don't think Sterling will be on the bench. But it's Pep, so, I mean, we could see 10 youth players out there against Brighton. We'll never know. Wolves, Everton, I want to see goals. I want to see goals from Wolves, but I just feel that's going to be 0-0 or 1-0. Mane to Mahrez, Sterling for a hit. No. Just think of Salah. We think Mane is going to play. It is a favourable home tie. To Mahrez. Mahrez is played 2 games back-to-back. Usually that means they're going to get benched for the third one, but you just don't know. Sterling didn't play the last. He should play this one, but wouldn't you be surprised, random, if Mane is benched back-to-back? Keep Bolly, Egan, or Fernandes. Willy Bolly. Burnley and Palace in the next 2. Teams that don't particularly score. I think, and that's another reason why I did Salah this week, because I'm going to be looking at these City players. So I've got money. I can go anywhere. I can go Jimenez down to Ings. I can do whatever I want, right? And if I see Mahrez doesn't play, or we get some team news that says Sterling's out and Mahrez is in or something like that, you can just line that one up. City against Bournemouth is tasty. So tasty, right? Even with that 0-0 with Spurs yesterday, they're still so tasty. Villa, Palace, that screams 0-0 or 1-0 as well. Spurs, Arsenal, it's a derby, so we might actually see a thriller or we might see a 0-0. It's tough to say, but Spurs are just painful to watch, and Arsenal is so frustrating because they're just useless. So this is like a who doesn't want to win this match game right there. Bournemouth, Leicester. I'm not saying I am backing Jamie Vardy. I don't want to look like I'm not. I'm just not taking a hit to bring him in for 1 game week. And Bournemouth have Bournemouth even, they scored 2 against United, right? And that's about it. And then United, Southampton, yeah, you've got to be tripled up on United in my opinion. And Vardy, don't know about the ban. Unsure. I'd have to check it. But I mean, it would be late because they're playing Sunday, right? And today's Friday. That's a late ban. Yet Dredd always said that. Massively overpriced. And apart from Aurier, right? I don't understand. So I know Boona brought in Kane, but I just don't understand why people will bring in Harry Kane, because he's not bad, but he's like an out of position forward in a bad way to be out of position. And even Heung-min Son didn't start. And what has Son done? What has Son done? 6 and a 6. He's got 2 assists since he's come back. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. He's got 18 points. Mo Salah got 18 points in 1 game. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Boona's deluded. You've got your Spurs goggles on. That's what it is. That's the issue. You're leading your league by 200 points. Nice. What's your overall rank, Random? Or a jammy clean sheets point? Yep, completely agree. But you just don't care, right? How many points did he? 15 was it yesterday? 14. Bruno got 14 points yesterday. Do I care that he got a jammy penalty? Nope. Not bothered. I don't care. I don't care if you score a free kick from 50 yards and it bounces over, you know, the goalkeeper's head, or it hits a flying bird and the bird carries it over the line and the goal somehow still stands because VAR are useless. I don't care. Points are on the board. I mentioned this last week. Palace player, right? Milivojevic, the penalty taker. I don't care how a player scores the goals, right? If points are on the board, they're on the board. Ozzy's playing Son and Kane as defenders. Yep. And that's why I don't understand FPL-wise why people are like so into it. Kane runs around like a hunchback dinosaur. And that's it. Like, I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying that he's not important to the side. But FPL-wise, we're talking about here, he's just not a good asset. In fact, FPL would do a good job to either make him a midfielder next year or dramatically drop his price to like an 8 to get people like, oh wow, maybe I should get Harry Kane. Son versus Lloris cage match. That was so random. I don't know what Lloris saw, because, okay, if a goalkeeper fights with one of his defenders, you can understand, right? Because they're right near each other, they talk to each other, maybe the defender doesn't listen to a shout, or the goalkeeper told him to move one way and he's not listening. But Song's all the way on the wing. Like, what has he seen that's really ticked him off to go and give him a shove? It's just strange. And why Son? Like, he was the only useless player in the Spurs side. No clean sheet points for Kane. I know, considering he's a right wing back, it's outrageous. 7.5 now. Oh, you can't go that. Your FPL app won't work. Oh, yeah, if you're on your phone, yeah. Happens that on my iPhone sometimes. A defender. Wouldn't that be amazing? If Harry Kane was a defender, let's say he's 8 million, but he's a defender. Would I take Greenwood over Kane in Euros? No. No. Kane is not a bad player, but Kane is being used wrong. Right? Stick Harry... It's like, okay, you guys must remember when Harry Kane was taking corners for England. Right? Do you remember? And everyone was like, what the hell is Harry Kane? Get him in the box, stick it on his head. 2044 points. So you're about 80 up on me there, Random. So... oh, top 100k, maybe? But when Kane was taking corner, yeah, he's still quality. He just needs to be played in the right position. Everyone can tell you Harry Kane is a striker, a forward, Shearer-esque, right? Anyone can tell you Heung-min Son is an attacking winger or an inside forward. Use them that way. I mean, it's not complicated, is it? Or stick them up front. Play 4-4-2 and put Son and Kane up front next to each other. See what happens. So, yeah, completely would be taking Kane to the Euros. And I would be taking Greenwood. Greenwood is just a natural born finisher. I don't know who was... I think could have been Solskjaer or maybe one of the backroom staff like Michael Carrick, who's at the club, right? They said like he's the best finisher that they've ever seen. A little bit like Guardiola, what he said about Foden. So his finishing is just amazing. That's why Greenwood doesn't come across, doesn't come up any stats and stuff on FPL, because he shoots, he scores, right? He's just a clinical player. 40k red out 60. Still a great score, Random. Square holes and round pegs. Injuries have ruined him. Now, Boona, I thought the same thing before the restart. I saw a picture of Kevin De Bruyne who looked chunky, but then I saw a picture of Harry Kane and I was like, I wonder if he's like ripped underneath it. So you might actually find that, unless you've seen him for some reason without his shirt on, he might just have bulked up, not gone fat. And Neil, don't disagree whatsoever. That's what I mean when they're just making it so complicated. Cash Kane for 70 to 80 million. But then, here's the problem with that. You're giving Jose Mourinho 70 to 80 million to waste. How much money has he wasted during his managerial career, especially in the last few years? And in today's market, who are you going to replace Harry Kane with for 78 million? Isn't Dominic Solanke like 30 million? He's a unit. So yeah, mate, I think he's bulked up, not gone fat. You can get that top 50k around him. I believe in you. And Aman, yeah, you've nailed it on the head there. People think, oh, look at United, so negative, they're useless. And then it was Mourinho there, right? Every time a club goes flat, Mourinho's there. He's the common denominator. He's slowed down so much. Yeah, because muscle's heavier than fat. So he would be faster if he was fatter. But something that screamed alarm bells to me is when he scored. When he was through on goal, right? And he ran and he'd finished it one-on-one. Great finish. What was his celebration? Collapsing. Yeah, it was late in the game, but my God. Professional footballer, and his celebration is just heaving on the side of the pitch. Antonio is like Traore, though. It's just an absolute machine. Just doesn't stop. Antonio can get injured, though. And there you go. Yeah, Neil, I wouldn't trust Mourinho with my wallet. And the thing that it is Mourinho's football, and Tifo did a good thing about why Mesut Ozil is not as good as he used to be. And because even in the last 10 years, football has changed to this high-pressing, high-velocity football. And Mourinho is, we say park the bus, but it's not. But his style today can't last against today's football clubs. And he hasn't changed. Like, I can't tell. Can you tell the difference between Spurs and Manchester United under Mourinho? Because I can't. Kane would be perfect in Serie A because they don't run a lot. They pass. Just look how good Lukaku has been at Inter. True. But I saw some interesting threads on Twitter about actually Juve are one of the worst creators of chances this season under Sarri. And Ronaldo is genuinely having probably the best career season he's ever had because he is scoring all of these goals and Juventus are like 15th in the league for chances created or something mental. What two defenders to play? Bolly, Lascelles, Holgate. Now, Holgate and Lascelles are both yellow flags, so I'd have to wait for team news to say anything about that. Bolly at home to Everton's not too bad. If everyone is fit, I play Lascelles because he's got Watford. Because then you're having Wolves against Everton, and then kind of feels like you back in one gets and one doesn't kind of thing. Madrid, Spurs, and United very quickly. Isn't it second season syndrome or third season syndrome with Jose Mourinho? That's what it usually is. And yeah, I know, Gavin, it's the set. What was it? So this week, the early kickoff, Watford, Newcastle, Norwich, West Ham. Useful. I think last week was Norwich as well, right? I know it was Chelsea, Palace, and Watford, Norwich there. But then before that, it was Norwich again. Like, the only early team news that we're getting is Norwich. And then we're midweek again. Chelsea, Norwich. Norwich just love being the early kickoff. It's nice. And the Norwich again. Every week, guys. Norwich. And then the last game is. I thought game week 37 was all together again. Maybe they moved it to I thought 37 and 38 were both all together on a Saturday or Sunday. Oh, it's a nightmare for me because I'm 7 hours ahead of the UK. So for me to try and do videos or live streams and stuff, it's an absolute pain in the arse. So who's everyone's captain for this game week? I'm going for Bruno. I think Bruno's going to be the one with Sterling as vice. If for some crazy reason Pep Guardiola comes out and says, oh, Raheem starts, he's starting, I'll probably switch it. But can you believe 16.5% for Sterling is fantastic. Fernandes is only 28.2. FA Cup semi-final, I thought so. I think the problem is, Notorious, why they're not getting the early kickoffs as well, is because now if you were the first early kickoff, you're always going to be the early kickoff because the games are coming every like 3 or 4 days. That you can't be the early kickoff and then be the late kickoff because you get the longest time, and then the early kickoff again because it'll be the shortest time. So I think they're just in this loop of if you played first, you play first again. If you play last, you play last again. So United last. And then United last again, right? So it's just, that's the loop that they're in at the minute. Differential captain option. Well, Sterling is only 16.5%. Greenwood, no. Now, Trent is 42.6% owned, I know. But him or Robertson as a captain, if you're going to go crazy, try and get that clean sheet plus an assist. You never know. Don't know, random. I'm going to wait for press conferences. Captain of the week for me. Let's pretend we know everyone's playing, right? We know all the players are starting and playing. Let's imagine every player starts this game week, right? I would say if everyone was starting, I'd probably say Mahrez would be a great captaincy option. But in reality, I don't think he's going to play. I think Sterling's going to play. If I had the guts, I'd probably captain Sterling. To be safe, I think Bruno as captain is the best one for me. But I'm interested to know what are you guys, or who are you captaining? Martial could be a good option here. 19.9% owned. He's in a good run of form. He likes playing at home. Don't you think Liverpool have been fortunate to keep some clean sheets since the restart? Yep. But again, Notorious, I don't care. I don't care if Van Dijk saves the ball off the line using his arse. If it doesn't go in, it doesn't go in. Saturn, yes. And I don't think that's... we talked about Bruno's form earlier, right? If you'd have captained Bruno every week since the restart, you'd have got 9... 3, 15, 15, 14 doubled. Another Bruno. I think now we know that there's a lot of inactive managers in FPL right now. So Salah and KDB are going to be in the top 3 captains because people have captained them and then they've not played. They're not logged on, right? So Bruno is probably going to be 3rd, but he's still probably only going to be captained by about 800,000 people. So I still think it's worth it. Mane against Burnley, I think that's a good option as well. I did mention earlier, I just don't see Burnley getting battered. I just don't. You have a triple captain left. Bruno versus West Ham or Sterling versus Bournemouth or Norwich. If I could, I would go a City player against Bournemouth at home. But you're going to have to be so spot on with who it's going to be because you just don't know who's going to play. That's the issue, right? You just don't know. So Neil, if you found out Sterling will play against Bournemouth, bang, triple captain. Or even against Norwich, right? You could leave it till the last game of the season, right? Because they all kick off at the same time. So you could get some early team news. But again, if you don't get that early team news and you put it on the wrong guy, then you're screwed. If I had any chip left, free hit or triple captain, I would be saving it for game week 38 right now. And yeah, rotation. So if Sterling doesn't play this week again against Brighton, he's surely going to play the week after that. Is Giroud for 2 weeks a good punt and then you switch someone like Ince till the end? Personally, no. Giroud might not even start the next game, and he's going to Sheffield United, who have sorted it out defensively, so I wouldn't personally. Yep, all at the same time. The last game of the season. The game week before, game week 37 plus, was the same, but because we think it's the FA Cup, that's what Neil thinks as well, it split it up. Alright, so I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. It looks like we've got quite a few Bruno captainers, maybe the odd Mane in there as well. If you can leave a like on the stream, that would be very, very wonderful. And if you can subscribe as well, the weekly team selection video is on the channel if you want to check that out. So any likes or subscribes would be greatly appreciated. If you want to look at the video, it should be the top of the YouTube page, team selection and review, and a little bit of a preview for this game week. Nothing really that we've not gone over here, but if you want to check that out, that would be fantastic. Good luck to this game week, and hopefully we're all going to get green arrows again. 11 in a row for me, so I'm going for 12. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you for the like as well. Do appreciate. What to do for Jimenez? I'm keeping him. Jimenez, 1 goal max. I'll take it. I'll take it, Neil. All right, thanks a lot, guys. I do appreciate you as always. Hopefully see you guys next week. And yep, have a good one. Peace out, guys. Bye bye.